The sky was a heavy gray as Detective Lena Madsen pulled her coat tighter around her, the chill of the Norwegian winter biting into her bones. She stood on the banks of a narrow fjord surrounded by near vertical cliffs that seemed to embrace the dark waters with a brooding severity. In the small town of Skarns, some ways northeast of Oslo, something sinister had breached the quiet life. A local historian, Johan Halvorsen, had been found dead in his home, an old cabin that creaked with secrets as much as with age. Halvorsen was beloved in Skarns, known for his passionate preservation of Norse history and folklore. Lena herself knew him as a fixture in the town, often seen guiding awed tourists or passionately arguing with local politicians about conserving historical sites. His death was not just a tragedy, it was a tear in the fabric of the community. The initial reports suggested no foul play, an elderly man succumbing to heart failure. Yet something was off, pulling Lena into the depths of her instincts. It began with the strange symbol carved on Halvorsen's desk, barely visible beneath layers of dust and papers, a circle intersected by a horizontal line, an ancient rune that hinted at something deeper than mere scholarly interest. Her investigation led her deeper into the valley, past the icy stairs of mountain peaks. The townsfolk were tight-lipped, a cultural norm here, but their silence seemed steeped in genuine fear. Lena's inquiries disturbed the surface of what appeared a still pool, drawing dark things to the light. A series of break-ins had coincided with Halvorsen's death, targeting houses that Halvorsen had researched for historical significance. With help from her hesitant partner, Eric, a transferred officer still acclimating to the harsh northern lifestyle, Lena delved into Halvorsen's research. The historian had been obsessed with the Shadow Path, a mythical route set by the old Viking sagas that purportedly led to a place of great power. Skeptical, yet intrigued, she couldn't ignore the pattern emerging from the dust of forgotten lore. Their breakthrough came from an old woman, Maren, who once worked as Halvorsen's assistant. Her cabin was a trove of manuscripts and maps. Maren, frail yet sharp, spoke of Halvorsen's conviction that the Shadow Path was real, rooted in truth rather than myth, and perhaps held the key to understanding the ancient traditions of their ancestors. "He was close, you know," Maren whispered in the dim firelight, "close to proving it wasn't just a tale. But there are those who think some doors should remain closed." Halvorsen's research had enemies, people embedded within the very fabric of Skarns, where history lay as thick as the snow. Foul play seemed increasingly likely. Lena and Eric ramped up their efforts, tracing the historian's last weeks. They visited sites he had mapped, digging through the icy soil and snow until they found the entrance Halvorsen had described, a hidden cave beneath an ancient tree. Inside, amidst the eerie echo of their footsteps, they discovered not treasures or significant artifacts, but a simple stone altar, old as time. Carvings on its surface matched the rune from Halvorsen's desk, suggesting ceremonial use. That night, Lena's skeptical nature battled with the spine-tingling sense of touching something profound. Their discovery should have been the end of it, but a local councilman, Olsen, tried to persuade them to bury the findings. His threats veiled thinly in political jargon, hinted at dangerous undercurrents. Refusing to back down, Lena reported their findings, her resolve solidifying like the ice cloaking the fjord. The exposure stirred up not only the community, but also interest from cultural historians and authorities. As Skarns grappled with its newly disturbed layers, Lena battled both the elements and the entrenched resistance, her determination casting light into the long shadows cast by the mountains. And though the case closed with official nods, quiet arrests, and the assurance of conservation, rather than an exploitation, Lena knew that in the depths of Skarns' heart, beneath the serene surface of its ancient traditions, murky currents would always swirl, harboring secrets that some would prefer remain in the shadows of the fjord.